welcome to C-Fan Sports, a sports show that is dedicated to the Seattle sports fan. My name is Dave. This is Kevin. This is Mariner Weekly. As always, you guys, make sure that you turn your notifications on. Make sure that you guys subscribe if you're brand new here. And if you're not brand new here, what are you waiting for? Make sure you give a thumbs up, thumbs down. Also, leave us comments down below. All right, Kevin. Now that we got all that out of the way,
I just want to say I'm loving the comments and I'm trying to respond as fast as possible. I have just recently moved to a temporary location for about 6 months and it's been a challenge, but I'm going to try to respond faster from now on. But thank you everybody that's been leaving comments, because there are some good comments and some smart people out there. So thank you.
All right, well, then maybe, Kevin, these smart people can help you deal with something that you're struggling with. And this is a little therapy session we have here.
I'm not struggling.
And all of you guys, all the C-Fan Sports people out there, you guys, Matt Chapman, do we want him? Do we need him? And most importantly, are we going to get him? Because whether you and I want him, whether any of the people that leave comments down below want him, it sounds like a lot of people in the front office for the Seattle Mariners are thinking that Matt Chapman is going to be the next third baseman. Kevin, what do you think about that?
Please, Jerry, and anybody in the Mariners organization that's listening to this podcast, do not, I repeat, I do not want Matt Chapman. We've had 8 years of Kyle Seager, or however many years Kyle's been in the big club playing third base. Matt Chapman is Kyle Seager, except for he doesn't hit as many home runs, as many RBIs. He had a 210 batting average. His average batting average throughout his career is less than 250. I want a third baseman that has some thump. And we already have a third baseman on our staff that it could be just as good as Matt Chapman. And he is 4 years younger.
So what you're saying, Kevin, is that Toro could be our everyday third baseman, is what you're saying. What I'm hearing from you is you would be happy with Toro being our everyday third baseman rather than bringing in Matt Chapman.
Absolutely happy with that. I think Toro has the potential to be so much better. And I think as far as hitting goes, he's going to have more pop than Matt Chapman does. I believe Toro he's going to be 25 next year. Matt Chapman's 29. So he's 4 years younger than Chapman. And in all reality, Toro hit in the Mariners. Now he only had 58 games with the Mariners. He hit 252. He had a 328 on base percentage, of 567 slugging, 685 or 695 OPS, 26 RBIs, and 5 home runs. Now, I know it's only 58 games and it wasn't a sample size, but Matt Chapman, 210, 314 OBP, 403 slugging, 716 OPS. He did have 77 RBIs and 27 home runs. He did win a Gold Glove. Now, I'm not taking anything away from Matt Chapman as far as defense goes. He is a stud, but I want a thumper at third base. What the Seattle Mariners were missing last year was not guys that could get on base or hit 210. We had plenty of those guys. We need guys that hit 260, 280, and 270, 300. In fact, in my
You're
opinion,
talking crazy now.
I'm talking Adam Frazier could do, what Matt Chapman did. So right. I don't want to, it's going to go back to, if we're going to give up a top prospect for Jose Ramirez, or my first choice, Matt Olson.
You are loving Matt, you are loving Matt Olson. You have been on Matt Olson's side ever since we started this off season. You think Matt Olson is the guy that we need to trade for, and I completely agree with you.
You want me to give you his stats?
Kevin, I am on the edge of my seat.
Oh, let's see. 5.8 WAR, 271 batting average, 371 OBP, 540 slugging, 911 OPS, 111 RBIs, 39 home runs, and get this, 6 errors for 995 fielding percentage.
Well, that's what Matt Chapman had too, is 6 errors.
Right. So that's my question. If we're going to give up a top prospect, why are we giving it up for Matt Chapman and not Matt Olson? Explain, please.
I think here's why I think that I think it's going to be Matt Chapman that we're going to be. They're looking at the $9.75 million that Matt Chapman's going to be owed. Not only that, but if he isn't a good fit in our organization, we'll only have him for one more year before they're able to deal him or they're able to move on from him and bring in Toro. Well, he's at that point going to be 25 or 26. It would be a stopgap position to make sure that we have Toro to the place that we want him. I agree with you. I don't think we should give away a top flight prospect to Oakland for Matt Chapman, and I think we should as well. But you've also got to think there's dollars and cents involved, and they're looking at a stopgap at third base to tell Toro is ready to take over that position on a permanent basis. That's why I think that we're looking at a Matt Chapman versus a Matt Olson, because unfortunately there's going to be a bidding war for Olson. The Braves are already involved. New York Yankees are already involved. And, you're going to have to outbid them as far as prospects go to bring in Matt Olson. You're
telling me that Matt Chapman does not have a huge list of people that want him too. See, I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. And, in all reality, why don't we bring Kyle Seager back on a 1-year deal or 2-year deal and pay him $7-8 million? He had a 212 batting average, but he had 101 RBIs and 35 home runs. I mean, if you're going to bring in Matt Chapman, I get it. And I know it's either Matt Chapman. All I keep hearing is Matt Chapman, Trevor Story, blah, 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 blah. And I'm frustrated. I do not want Matt Chapman, and I'm going to be quiet for a few minutes.
Kevin, I don't think it's out of the realm of possibilities that Kyle Seager couldn't return. I honestly, because I don't think I think he expected to go out on the open market and to be sucked up like his brother did. Right. And be paid a lot. And I don't think he had that call like he thought he was going to. And he may, with his tail between his legs, come back to Seattle and share time with Toro at third base. And that may not be a bad thing.
Right.
I mean, again, I don't think we're talking anything crazy. And the simple fact is that we thought that door was completely closed, but I don't see anybody else swinging that door open for Kyle. And that's not saying anything bad about Kyle. I just think that they're looking at everything at his age and the batting average from last year. And I think they're a little shy to give him the kind of money that he's thinking that he has deserved.
Right. I'm just thinking, if you're going to give somebody, trade quality players for it, go after Matt Olson. Move Ty France to second base or DH. You got Adam Frazier. We've already picked him up, and he's a quality. He had a 991 fielding percentage last year. So, I mean, he's a solid second baseman, and he has pop. So, or not pop, but he hits a lot of doubles, and he's got some speed. So, I mean, I don't know. And then move Toro to third base or pick up a Trevor Story or a Chris Bryant and have him play third base. I don't know. I just do not. I think if they bring in Matt Chapman, I think it's going to be a very, very bad investment.
Well, you know what, Kevin? This debate's going to rage on for a little while because we're not going to know until this stupid lockout is over, and
True.
then it's going to be like Walmart on Black Friday, people rushing in and picking up players and making trades and throwing money everywhere. And you know what, Kevin? We're going to be right in the middle of it all, for giving our analysis, breaking it down. Kevin, do you have anything else to say this week as far as on the hot quarters that we have there?
No, I actually, I've been reading a lot of stuff, and obviously we didn't really talk about it tonight, but they had the Rule 5 draft for the minor leagues, and we lost 2 players, picked up 3, but then we traded 1 for cash, and that one was Biff's son from
Back to the Future.
Yeah, you gotta love it. So
I do.
Yeah, so just there is some activity going on, and it's a lot of fun, and just reading everybody's comments and questions and following sports, and just absolutely, I know it's a lockout, but once they get it figured out and get it resolved, let's get back to doing some stuff. I still think we need another starting pitcher. I'd like to do a trade, but if not, Tyler Anderson's still out there, and I think he'd be a quality 5th starter. And then, make room, do another 1-year contract or 2-year. And so that way Matt Brash or one of the other young guys can come up and move forward with that. So.
Well, it doesn't sound like we have any shortage of anything that we have to talk about until this lockout is over. No, we've somewhat muddied the waters on the third base situation. You guys, tell us who you want at third base next year. Who you think that needs to be holding down third base for the Seattle Mariners next year? Because you know what? We enjoy all the comments. Kevin, I think you only have to let us know what's going on.
Well, tell me I'm crazy. Explain to me why Matt Chapman, somebody please explain why Matt Chapman would be an unbelievable pickup. Please, I just could not see it. And maybe I'm just not bright enough. I don't know, but somebody help me to understand why he would be a great pickup. Anyway,
all right.
Go Mariners.
All right. Go Mariners. Mariner Weekly's over. You have a great week, everybody.